Alright, this video might be a little bit weird. As you can see on my bed, I've packed some bags and we're heading out. This video is supposed to be like a normal video about No More Heroes 3. And in the middle of my 4th hour playing the game, we decided to evacuate for Hurricane Ida. So I've only got footage for about the first 4 hours. I can't bring all of my equipment and game capture stuff with me, so this video might be a little bit weird. It's a little bit about my experience playing this game on the road. I don't even know how it's gonna turn out. There's a chance I don't even post it, so this video is for nothing. But enjoy this. If I end up posting it, hopefully it's interesting, a little bit different. And yeah. All right, we haven't left yet. I'm pretty much packed up. It is Friday, August 22nd, around 8 p.m. We're leaving at 3 a.m. to try to beat traffic, which could be a good idea, could be a bad idea, could be the idea everyone else has, which means traffic is an inevitability. But I've got kind of like this thought that similarly to how Animal Crossing last year, New Horizons, was like the game of 2020 and like the game of the pandemic, and I kind of think about COVID every time I play it. If something bad happens, I'm worried that I'm going to associate No More Heroes 3 and kind of by extension No More Heroes as a series with this event. And I'm the kind of person that, like, if I associate something with a really traumatic time, like, I have a difficult time separating those and compartmentalizing those things. Kind of like how, if you've watched the channel for a while, you would remember that I was talking about how Resident Evil 4 reminds me of when I evacuated for a hurricane in 2008. So, I'm a little bit worried that's going to happen. This is a pretty intense situation at the moment. Fortunately, we haven't had to do this in a long time, but this feels different, and I hope by the time that I publish this video, if I end up publishing it, that I will be considered being very dramatic for no reason. But at this moment in time, we didn't even realize we were going to be evacuating until we kind of got the call that it was going to be a lot worse than we expected at like 4 o'clock. So 4 hours ago, we still thought we were staying. So that's where I'm at. I'm probably going to be switching from playing No More Heroes 3 with motion controls to just playing in handheld mode, because that's, for the time being, all I'm going to have access to. I don't know if I'm going to have footage of that in any way. Not really sure how this video is going to come together, but we'll see. So we're here, we're about 5 hours away from New Orleans. It took us 6 hours to get here because of stopping and stuff like that, but as you can see, it's a disgusting day. This is like what's left of Ida. We're still dealing with this. Like, even though we're pretty far away, we are still dealing with some of the repercussions. Hurricane Ida was miserable. A lot of people I know stayed, and a lot of people really regret it. It's been a very brutal experience for them, and we've been very lucky to have some kind of connection to them via cell phones. Somehow they didn't fully go out. It keeps coming and going, so we're able to get messages to like loved ones and friends we know in the city, which is nice, because usually cell phones are gone. Internet's totally gone now, but at least we have cell phones. But basically, it was a lot. It kind of just parked itself on top of the city, which is where a lot of the destruction came from. The footage is pretty hard to watch. And that's we knew it was going to be bad. As it got closer and closer, I really couldn't focus on anything else. I just glued myself to my computer watching the local coverage, and it was bad. Like, the news station we were watching, their power went out, and then their backup generator went out, and then their backup generator went out. They totally lost their feed for a while. One guy accidentally docked himself on his TV because somehow the feed only connected his thing, and he read his work number on live on air. It was really rough. A lot of people were really cool about it, though. He got a lot of well wishes, which was really nice. It could have been a lot worse. But one of the news stations had to be evacuated because their roof came off. Like, the wind ripped off the roof, and the control room had to be evacuated because debris and stuff was flying in. So it was lucky that everyone was okay, but it was brutal. For anybody who stayed, it was a rough time. Alright, so you can probably imagine, with everything going on, it's been really difficult to focus on playing No More Heroes. It wasn't as bad in most cases as I thought the storm was going to be, but for a lot of people, they are in a very dire situation right now. So I just want to acknowledge the fact that while a lot of people I know got really lucky, there's countless other people who lost everything. As you can probably tell by the footage, there were places like LaPlace, New Orleans, lots of historic places got really affected by the storm. And I just want to say, like, this is not glazing over that, because while this is a video about No More Heroes, it is also about the effects of the storm. And I just want to say that thank a healthcare worker because there were countless nurses and doctors who stayed knowing it was going to be terrible, knowing that the ER was totally full. All of the rooms were totally full with COVID patients, and the power would go out and they would have to hand ventilate people for hours on end because the backup generators may not hold out because of water and flooding. So I know a few personally. I'm going to thank them as soon as I can get a signal to them. Just, they're true heroes. They did the hard thing knowing it was going to be hard, and they still did it. So I just want to say thank you to all of them. So while it has been really hard to focus on No More Heroes, I have played a little bit. I got down to number 4 on the Assassins list, and I want to talk about, like, the gameplay because it is amazing, and it's probably the best No More Heroes has ever been. It brings a lot of what you loved about 1, 2, Travis Strikes Again into 3, and you've got the chips, you've got the power-ups, you've got a much more built-out combat system that works really, really well. It's a lot of fun. A lot of the fights have kind of changed. So instead of going forward and going through a long hallway of the same exact enemies, you will do these things called designated fights, where you have to go and fight like 3 specific enemies and then basically fight those, and after doing a few of those, then you can go in. It's a lot more streamlined. My biggest problem with No More Heroes 2 is that there were just too many waves of enemies. So it's a really welcome change to only have to fight 3 pretty difficult enemies to, like, prepare yourself for the fight and then go into the boss fight, and it's a lot of fun. The open world is kind of overwhelming, honestly. There's a lot to do, which is interesting because I see a lot of people calling it boring. In handheld mode, it doesn't run really well. In docked mode, it runs pretty fine. It's not terrible, like, who cares? The actual gameplay itself is what matters, and, like, when it's working, it's fine. It's just a little bit choppy in the open world when you're riding your motorcycle around. No More Heroes is open world of Santa Destroy is broken up to like 5 or 6 different segments, and they're unlocked as you go. So it's not just one open world. There's like Santa Destroy, which is the hub world, and then you get on the interstate and go to different other video game inspired places, and it's pretty cool. They're pretty barren from the look, but there's a lot of stuff to do. Like, there's a lot of Easter eggs, there's a lot of people to talk to, there's a lot of save points, a lot of side missions, a lot of different jobs, multiple levels to the different jobs, which is a very welcome change. So if you do a job, you're not going to be doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. You actually get to do harder levels. So it's kind of like a mix between No More Heroes 1, where you're going to be mowing lawns, and then like No More Heroes 2, there's another level where the lawn is bigger and you have less time to do it. So it's an interesting kind of change of pace. There's also much more lucrative missions, like you have to go mining for ore, which is very funny because I did not think I would be doing some Minecraft-y kind of stuff, but basically, just like how you used your experience in Travis Strikes Again, there's this currency called World End Supernova, WESN, and basically you dump that into your health, your stamina, your katana stamina, your attack damage, get some special moves. It's really cool. It feels really fleshed out. You have to make choices on where you want to dump stuff in, so if you're getting your butt kicked by very difficult bosses, they're pretty difficult right off the bat, you want to get some more life. You want to get some more attack damage if you notice that it's taken a little bit too long. It's a lot of fun. The story so far has not been as deep in terms of like subtext as far as I can tell, but that could be because I've not been paying attention as much as I'd have liked to. So I've been really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. It's a really, really, really good game so far, and a lot of the upgrades and stuff has made it probably the best No More Hero game so far. I think there's going to be people who are always going to say that the first one is the best one, but No More Heroes 3 is a wonderful, wonderful third game in the series. It was worth the wait. It is so much fun. There's so many twists and turns and surprises that anybody who plays it is going to be really excited about it. I might make another video about the story and the bosses and stuff like that, similar to what I did with the first game and the second game. But this is kind of like not a first impressions, but like a quick and dirty review of what I've been doing and what I've been seeing, and I've been really happy with it. So if you like No More Heroes, you gotta check this game out, like truly. One thing that is a little bit difficult is you really have to play Travis Strikes Again, because there's a lot of characters and a lot of nods to that, which is a little bit, it's not disappointing, but since it was a spin-off game, you wouldn't expect it to be so relevant and necessary to understanding this game. It might be something you can look past. Like, you definitely should play all of the No More Heroes, but Travis Strikes Again was pretty weak, in my opinion. Like, everything about it was good except the gameplay, which got to be a grind. So I'm not super happy with the fact that it's super mandatory to play it to fully understand what's going on.
Control in a world filled with chaos. I am Thor, and this is my hammer.
It's now Wednesday. I looked at the footage I recorded yesterday on Tuesday, and I realized I didn't really go into specifics on the gameplay as much as I wanted to. So with No More Heroes 3, the gameplay is a lot more intense, as in you have items you can get in the form of sushi that upgrade your, temporarily, it'll upgrade your battery recharge rate, it'll replenish your health, it'll do things like that. You can go to different sushi bars around the city or before boss fights, and you can get these items and buffs that you can use within the battles. So then, gone is the up and down motion of having light and heavy attacks. Now there are dedicated buttons to it. So X is heavy attacks, Y is quick attacks. It's fun to do combos with them. They are fun. It's very button mashy, just like regular No More Heroes, but it's a little bit more involved because you got to do different combos to do different sets of attacks, which is fine. I really like it. There's a jump button now, which is good for up, like vertical attacks. Like you can jump and then dive attacks. I don't use it too much, but it comes in handy during boss fights when you have to avoid enemy attacks that send shockwaves on the ground that you have to like jump over. You've got your dodge. It is no longer attached to the C stick. It is just a catch-all button that you use to dodge enemy attacks. At a certain point, you can do the dark step or something that's equivalent to it. It may not be the dark step. It may not be called the dark step in the game. I'm not really sure what it's called, but it's like a perfect dodge or something like that. Now you have full camera control. It's really nice. You can shuffle through which enemies you're looking at by left and right on the right stick, which is really nice because it helps you really focus in on specific enemies. Take out the strong ones first, then deal with the weaker ones that are just kind of annoying. I still think, now that I am down to the final boss fight, that this is probably the best playing No More Heroes game so far. I kind of feel like the aliens are a different direction in that there's less humanity with it, where Travis, our imperfect hero, is kind of representing humanity and all of our flaws, and he's facing off against these aliens that have kind of judged us before they've even come to know us, which is like obvious. I mean, basically, if you've seen the announcement trailer where the alien comes in and then just destroys the world, essentially, you shouldn't be surprised that they have no intent of getting to know us. That said, there are twists and turns where you're not necessarily fighting aliens. I hope that's not too much of a spoiler, but you're not going to be fighting just aliens as bosses, which I think is pretty good. It adds a lot of variety that I wasn't expecting. Lots of surprises, lots of surprise cameos and returns, some that I'm really happy with, and I still cannot get over how much there is to do in the open world, and yet still people are calling it boring. Like, there is more to do than ever. In terms of looks, I still think that it's like the areas you go in are pretty basic. However, the amount of things to do makes up for that, in my opinion. Anyway, I just wanted to take a couple minutes and go into more specifics on the gameplay and how it's, in my opinion, better than any No More Heroes game so far. So I wanted to go through that, but I'm on the last boss fight. I will probably do one more update, and then I'm going to try to rush this video out because we're going to be going home on Friday, and we may not have water. My area may not have power, and there definitely will not be internet, so I got to get this out pretty quick. Anyway. Hey, look at me. I'm in my very own No More Heroes replica save room. I just finished the game, and Echo in this room aside, that game was amazing. I'm so happy with it. I'm definitely going to play it again very soon. I cannot say enough good things about it. I'm probably not going to show you much gameplay from the end because, well, I don't have it, but no spoilers, because I think this game really plays best when it surprises you. And if you're going to play it, try to go in as obliviously as possible because it's going to catch you by surprise. It's going to catch you off guard. It's got so many twists and turns. It's just amazing. It is super on brand for the series, and I cannot wait. There are a few things that we can potentially expect from a No More Heroes 4 if it ends up happening, but I just can't say enough good things about it. I think it was fantastic. There's just so many loving nods to a bunch of other video games, other Nintendo games, just gaming in general. So many Easter eggs that'll just make people who love video games smile. It's just a love letter to video games, and it's a love letter to Suda's past, and if you have any interest in it or the series, you've got to play it. And that's really all I got to say about it. Anyway, this has been a really weird video. It's not a full video, so I'm not posting it in the middle of the week like I normally would. So if you liked it, I probably won't make anything else like this, hopefully, because I won't be evacuating anymore. But if you want to see other videos that are much more scripted, heavily edited, you can subscribe. I've got a few patrons. You can check out my Patreon down in the description below if you'd like. I'd really appreciate it, especially with this hurricane. Things are getting a little bit tighter, so anything helps, and you can pledge for only $1. I'd like to thank my other patrons, Kayla, Just Jessica, Andrew Elmore, Andrew Lang, and 8-Bit Jesus. But anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for coming on this very weird, semi-depressing ride, and I'll see you next time. Bye.